Hello, and welcome back to another day in the arena. It's me, it's CGB, and today in the arena, I'm going to lose all my subscribers. I'll tell you how. Well, maybe not all. There are a couple weirdos out there like me. You see, I keep it on the DL. I don't like words like cancer and toxic floating around in the comments. I play janky things and I have a good time, but my very first competitive deck, when I was but a small 14-year-old going to my first pro tour, not kidding, blue-white control. My playtesting partner was my sister. She was only 12, and she liked to play red-green aggressive decks. And I figured out that if I played blue-white with a whole bunch of counter spells, back then they were called Arcane Denial, just straight up counterspell and Force of Will, and I just didn't let her resolve any of her big scary monsters, I would win the game. And I really liked winning the game. So whenever there is an opportunity to play some blue-white counter your stuff control, I have to take it. I've got to be a little bit true to myself sometimes, and I've got to take it. And here in the standard shakeup event, let's be honest, this deck is not good in standard right now. It's not good. This card, this one card that Wizards made it basically unplayable, because if a Teferi Time Raveler sticks on the battlefield, what is blue-white going to do? We can't play our counter spells anymore. We could, I guess, Ixalan's bind it. What's the opponent do? They blow up our Ixalan's binding, and then the opponent draws another card, or whatever. They play another Teferi and bounce our Ixalan's binding and draw more cards and find more answers, and we're tapped out, so we don't get to counter anything anyway. It's a disaster. It's a disaster, this card. You can't play it in standard. Scapeshift runs this card. The Kethis Hidden Hand deck runs this card. Command the Dreadhorde runs this card. Everybody runs this freaking card. And if that's not bad enough, like Mono Red still beats this deck up pretty bad because our early removal spells aren't great. Gideon's Triumph, Seal Away, there's nothing broken about these cards. These are not only fair, they're easy to play around, and they can be low impact if the opponent plays a certain way. Same thing with our early sweeper, Settle the Wreckage. Wise opponents can play around it. The deck is in no way too powerful, but I get it. It can be obnoxious. It can make you lose friends. I'm lucky my sister still talks to me. She's a great person. She put up with all my Magic shenanigans. It didn't suck her love of the game, and she still enjoys hearing about my adventures in MTG many years later. She's off being a doctor. She has a family. She has a child, and so yeah, she's busy with that. But she enjoys hearing about Magic and is still a fan. Every now and then, maybe she watches the channel. I don't know. Anyway, comment if you are my sister. That's weird. A bunch of people are probably going to pretend to be my sister. Anyway, I'm talking too much. Let's say thank you to Cool Stuff Inc. for sponsoring the video, and let's go lose all my subscribers, unfriended, unsubbed, uneverythinged, because I'm going to counter your stuff, kill your things, draw a million cards, and probably beat you with a giant commence the endgame creature, or I'm going to Jace myself. So, here we go. Goodbye, cruel world. We are fighting Yo Mama, so I think if anybody deserves a proper blue-white beating, it's somebody named Yo Mama. Let's keep this. We've got an early removal spell, 3 lands, we draw the 4th, we're off to the races with Chemister's Insight, Settle the Wreckage, and Cleansing Nova to keep us alive. I guess I'll play with this bug. Okay. Let the party begin. Please give me something I can use this Field of Ruin on so that I have double blue. All right. Or double white if that's what we need, but had a feeling double blue for the Narset would come in handy. Breeding Pool, go. Are you going to be the Flash deck? That's a really bad matchup for us. But it should be a competitive one. It's better than playing somebody with an intro deck and abusing them horribly in front of the world and probably having cases of new player abuse filed against me. Spectral Sailor. What an obnoxious little critter that can be. There's no good guys here. It's blue-white control versus whatever the hell this is. But we're going straight for the Seal Away. We know the opponent doesn't want to tap out and play things on their turn anyway, so forcing them to act works. And if we draw a blue source off the top, we get our Narset. All right. Bingo. So I like just going for the Narset here. It keeps our opponent from playing a Trickster or a Cutthroat, or if they do, we at least get an activation off this card. I just like making them have it pretty much from the get-go, every turn that I can, until someday they don't have it no more. Now, aside from the Sailor, they don't have a lot of bonus ways to draw cards in the blue-green flash deck. Oh, Cutthroat is banned, by the way, so this has to be Merfolk Trickster. Anyway, what I'm saying is I'm just going to use the Narset here to find another card. Do I take the Absorb? I guess I do. The opponent does want to tap out on their end step to play things like the Big Wolf. So I think that's better than having another Sorcery Speed Sweeper. Here's Trickster. The Trickster can pressure the Narset. Annoy me to no end. Siren Stormtamer made the cut. Okay, that must be what you replaced the Cutthroat with.
This is overwhelming.
All right, we've got Absorb available and Chemister's Insight. We'll say go. We'll try to pressure the opponent into doing something about the Chemister's Insight. Siren Stormtamer's really good against Settle the Wreckage. Totally ruins our Settle plan. Yep. She dead.
I must train harder.
We all must train harder. Pass. I would like to draw these 2 cards. Nice. We've got Veto, we've got Absorb. I should probably pay the 2 life to have the 5 mana available. Should I? We have 1 counter. I don't think I'll need 2 counters. Actually, I don't think I need to pay the 2 life. We'll see if I turn out wrong about that. Because for 4 mana, Nightpack Ambusher, cards like that, it taps them out. I think the opponent's still on 1 spell a turn here, unless they specifically had like another combination of Stormtamers and Tricksters. So let's take this damage. No need to respond. Then we'll fire off this Chemister's Insight. What do we discard? We've got all this sorcery removal, and we've got this Settle the Wreckage that's really bad right now because of the Stormtamer. So I think I'll give it up. Although, having something to play on the opponent's turn, then untap and play Nova could be valuable. The worst card might be Jace himself. This card coming down is almost sure to get countered. And it doesn't affect the board. So I think we'll give up the Jace. What we really want is Commence the Endgame. That can switch the pressure, and it's uncounterable. The opponent can't do anything about it. So that's what we're really looking for. We can take some damage in the meantime and work this out. Now let's see if our opponent goes for a play on end step or not. Nope. Here comes Tricky. So I'm going to go for the Seal Away. We still have Absorb open, and the opponent knows it. And they don't want to act on their turn anyway, so I'm not worried about them playing something after combat. They can counter the Seal Away trigger with a Siren Stormtamer. It is an ability. And they would have to spend mana to do it. I would welcome that. If they let this occur, then the Stormtamer's clock is pretty slow. They're going to have a hard time just getting there with a 17-turn clock. They're going to have to add to the board at some point. Sure. They want to main phase that, that's fine with me. Now we could main phase a Chemister's Insight and still have Dovin's Veto available. But we might want to fight a battle on our turn over Settle the Wreckage, so I'm just going to pass again. Our turn, I mean their turn. That was a miscue on my part. Talking through all the things I can do with blue-white. Oh, I'm in heaven. All right. Let's push Settle the Wreckage upon them. They can use the Siren Stormtamer to counter it, if they wish. If they tap out to resolve like a Nightpack Ambusher, we answer with Cleansing Nova on our turn. Do I want that to resolve? I could veto it, but then the opponent can still use the Stormtamer. I think I'm just fine with eating their counterspell. Then next turn, if we draw a land, an untapped land, we can Nova. And we can have Veto to protect. Plus we have a backup Settle. We can take some damage. Blue-white is all about patience. It's all about picking the spots. It's a really defensive game of chess. You let them have some trades as long as you get the last one. So we're just going to run that turn again. Why not? We're just going to run that turn over again. Make sure we tap our field. Fire the settle. Get the opponent to react. If they go for a Frilled Mystic, that would be particularly great. We can't counter a Frilled Mystic with Dovin's Veto. But, we can Cleansing Nova and blow them all sky high. Also, we don't necessarily want our opponent to get lands from the Settle the Wreckage, so if they use their counter spells on the Settle, they don't get the land, and if the Cleansing Nova ends up being the thing that resolves, they don't get the land, and they still lose all their creatures. Unsummon my Storm Tamer, sure. That doesn't bother me. Is there another unsummon? You're letting the Trickster go. So the Storm Tamer can protect a Night Pack Ambusher or from a future Settle. I think that's why they would want to get their Storm Tamer back. What's the play? Does the little Pirate Wizard come back? No. Opponent holds up the 4 mana. Well, they know they don't want to play into the Absorb, so I find that strange, but it is what it is. They just want to leave the 4 mana open. Must have their Frilled Mystic. Alright. Pirate Wizard returns. Opponent is also being very patient. Dubs. Okay, no problem. Not particularly scared. Let's go for the Chemist's Insight, and I may actually, I'm going to tap low here and give the opponent to resolve something if they want to, and actually intentionally leave my Absorb Shields down, just because if they tap out and I get to Nova them, that's the big play. That's what we're going for. We're going to try to talk them into it. They're not taking the bait. Another blue? Yeah, we have another Plains in hand. But we're seeing a lot more cards every turn than them, thanks to Chemist's Insight. I still feel like we're favored, like we're moving in a good direction. The opponent can't go for an Ambusher without it getting absorbed. Here come the Storm Tamers. So do we try to settle them? No, I think we can be patient. Patient, patient, patient. Another Insight. Keep the cards coming. Now I wish I could have that Jace back to force a counter. If I'd known I'd draw plenty of land down the stretch, maybe I'd have done things differently. I don't know. It's a tough one. Let's make all this mana available. We're now about to have to discard. May as well throw a Nova at the problem. Here's Nova. There's a Sabotage. We could veto it, but I'm not that worried. Patience, patience, patience. Sinister CGB. People say that looks like me. What do you guys think? We just have to make sure the last Nova that we really want to resolve also resolves. We can take this. It's fine. Half dead. With 2 Absorbs in hand. There is Commence the End Game. That's gonna be nice. That'll flip this race around. I still want to hit my land drop. No reason to discard for no good reason. End step. Do you go for something? Shall we fight the fight? The opponent knows about this absorb, so I'm going to counter this. They're going to play another counter spell. They untap, they attack. Settle the Wreckage doesn't really resolve because of the Storm Tamer no matter what. But commence the end game. We can just eat this. Still, we want to make it like, we don't want the opponent to know it's coming. We want to make it like we did what we could and they beat us. We want to give them that sense of security, that false sense of security that they got one over on us with this Wizard's Retort. So we play the absorb that they knew about. We pass it over to them. They attack into our commence the end game. We eat their wolf for breakfast. If they have unsummon, that's unfortunate, but either way, we're going to untap and Cleansing Nova. Can't be countered. Can't be countered. Can't be countered. They put the red border on it and everything. Dead. You dead. All right. So now, do we want to Nova this board? Let's see if this resolves. It's such a haymaker. If they have one more counter spell, they'll try to use it here. Okay. Try and decide if I want to take a little bit more damage. I definitely can lock this up. All right. Then if we can definitely lock it up, let's lock it up. Let's send in the 7/7. Let's blow up your stuff. Destroy all critters. Opponent points the sabotage at it. We'll point a veto at the sabotage. And now it's 8-9. We have an Iskanta about to flip. We have a hand of counter magic. We should have turned the corner on this one. No need to do this now. We can do it at instant speed. Opponent trying to do some back building and rebuild their forces, but we will be seeing a lot of cards each turn. And yeah, I definitely, I agree. The game's pretty much over. Yo mama doesn't want to play it out. Okay, it's a turn 2 Iskanta, which I have a hard time sending away. We have a veto and absorb, a sweeper at the top. Just need to hit those land drops, and everything will be fine. Fountain, tapped. Scoured Barrens. Our opponent leads 21-20. Search for Iskanta. Dig for those land. If it's not land, I'm not keeping it. I can tell you that right now. Black-white. Will it be the Pride Mate? Legion Lieutenant. Some people sticking with the vampires even without Lord Sorin. Graveyard. Yes. A little bit of luck helps. So running the Narset out into the Lieutenant is like giving up a card. So I'm going to try to hold Narset till later in the game and just sit here on Absorb and Veto. Like I said, we got the most effective way to lose friends. That can be a very, very obnoxious card. And I'm going to go for the veto on it. I don't know what else I'll get to hit against vampires, as they're likely to play a lot of creatures. And that's a good clock. We're going to need to hit land drops and resolve that Nova. Graveyard. Man, Search for Iskanta is doing work. This card basically scryed 2 non-lands away and helped us hit land drops on time. It looks like everything's fine. But this thing was saving our bacon. Sadistic Sky Marcher. We're letting that resolve because the plan is to insight, find untapped land, and Nova. Do I need land number 6? Do I particularly need Field of Ruin? I think I'll graveyard that. Now Flooding Out is the enemy. Get him. Blow him up. We still have 14 life, so whatever threat our opponent resolves here, we might be able to take a hit or two, stabilize with counters. Ouch. Alright, that's really good. That's really good. It can bring back vampires on a regular basis, get some burn damage in. We don't have a ton of ways to deal with a planeswalker. Oh, Jace? I mean, if I play you, we do get to flip his Kanta next turn by filling our own graveyard, and we're drawing cards. If we draw a land, we can protect with Veto, and it protects our life total a little bit. But then we don't get to hold up Absorb, and we've got to get something out of these Absorbs. It's aggressive, but I'll take it. The best upside is they don't kill the Jace. We get multiple cards out of it, we flip our Azcanta, and we find a sweeper. Alright, we need to draw a blue source off the top to hold open Veto. That would be the nuts. Okay. Although I'm going to miss the cards I put in the graveyard for certain. I am sad about that. Pitiless Pontiff. That can gain Indestructible. So now we're looking for Settle the Wreckages, which is, you know, we lost 2 Cleansing Novas, so we're more likely to find Settle anyway. Okay, the opponent's going really wide. Let's see if they even bother attacking the Jace. I'm actually glad if you do. Okay. We do have a fight on our hands. This is a good game. This is going to come down to some crucial top decks. Let's graveyard that. Let's transform. Draw Essence Scatter pretty late. We're definitely milling ourselves. We don't want to give the opponent more things to get back with Sorin. That's not a Settle, but it is a land that we need. So Narset goes just as deep in his Kanta activation to find a Settle, and the opponent may feel like they have to attack the Narset. But this is at instant speed. If we Narset now and reveal a Settle, the opponent won't attack into it. So I think that holding all the mana open is the better bluff, since right now we don't even have the card. And does our opponent bother playing around it? That's the other big question.
This one I will remember.
Here we go. Crucial moment. What does the opponent do? 1 to Jace, these to face. Does the opponent want to pump the Knight? 1, 2, let's see. 5, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's not lethal. Let's go. Let's find that Settle the Wreckage. Okay. I'll take a Cleansing Nova. I'm kind of amazed I'm not dead here. The Pontiff, though, is very dangerous. It can gain Indestructible. Down to 8. No pumps on the Knight. Find all this very strange and no use for the mana. Let's go ahead and flash back the Insight. What am I dropping off? At this point, I don't think the Essence Scatter is very good. We're going to need those Absorbs to keep our life total high. Narset may be important to help us find more important permanents, and can shut down a Champion of Dusk. It might be the Veto, but I want to have another answer to a Planeswalker. Still, Absorb is an answer to a Planeswalker, and the Essence Scatter is more likely to hit than the Veto, so it's the Veto. There's the Settle. So this is an awkward spot. We have to go for the Nova because our opponent knows about it, I think. If we pass without using it, they'll know we have a Settle. But it leaves a Pontiff on the battlefield. Pontiff activate, Indestructibility gained. Some amount of creatures wiped out, but Sorin can keep rebuilding. So we're going to take a punch. We'll hold up the Absorb and we'll use the Azcanta. But this game is not over. We really want to find like a Commence the Endgame so we can attack down this Bloodlord. Or Ixalan's Binding is the other card I have in the deck for Planeswalkers. But the deck is pretty soft to Planeswalkers in this version. We don't have that Esper Elder spell creeping around. Back comes the Lieutenant. Pressure's gonna stay high. But that does put Sorin at 1, so Sorin can't get anything back next turn without dying. Down to 5. No spells cast. Opponent might be playing around Absorb completely. Here's a Seal Away. It's pretty good. I think it's better than an Insight at this point, as I have access to a lot of cards. There's another Insight. I think we'll get out the Narset. There's Commence the End Game, but we also have a Gideon's Triumph. I really want to play Commence the End Game. That affects how our opponent attacks into us, though, but so do both of these. And I think the Commence the End Game attacking Sorin, though, is important. If the opponent just doesn't attack us, we're okay. So I have to discard to hand size, and I'm going to drop off the Chemister's Insight. It does have Jumpstart, and we have plenty of cards. What we need are the right things. Or maybe the other Narset's the answer. Yeah. Tapping out for that isn't the greatest. Bloodthirsty Aerialist. I think we use an Absorb here. Our opponent's finally casting some frickin' spells. We get that gone and gain the life, gives us a little bit of a cushion. We take the Settle Shield down, but we still have Seal Away. The opponent knows about it, so they're not going to attack with their Pontiff, or they're not going to want to. Let's see what they do. Sorin picks on Narset.
Time for a drink.
Are you two flirting? What's going on here? Our opponent only has 39 life, no problem. Nothing to see here. This is fine. All right. So if I Seal Away, I open myself up to a 3-mana, possibly 4-mana spell. Don't know what that could be. I'm not afraid of it, though. Maybe I should be. Counter shields are coming down, you guys. It almost seems intentional, too. See it? Sorin's Thirst my own creature for 2 life. I was thinking Mortify. Mortify was a card that would have been a little bit of a blowout there against Seal Away. But there we have it. Alright, let's get our Narset card. I think that's more important. And another Narset, classic. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we can play this. Actually, I think it's definitely time to commence the endgame and have Absorb to protect the monster. I guess this is the creature that would be annoying for the opponent to get back because it has Death Touch. Actually, any of the Death Touches are. The opponent's going to use the Sorin to plus, though. Try to burn us out. You don't dare attack, right? Okay. That shows a confidence that the opponent thinks that they can kill this creature. And here it comes. Let's fight. And that will be the game. The opponent knows they're about to lose their Legion Lieutenant, then we untap, we attack their Sorin and kill it. They don't believe they can come back, even though the life total is 30-something to 10. Oh, this hand is tough. On the draw, all tapped land. But we have Absorb and we have Settle the Wreckage. If the opponent has a really fast draw, they can run us over. But let's make them have it. Also, if we draw any... Yeah, if we draw one of these, we're good. Let's go ahead and cove it up. Red-white. Red-white Tin Street Dodger. And Huzzah Marshall. Alright. Alright. They're bringing the little critters. The question already starts to loom in our minds. Will they play around Settle the Wreckage or not? And do they have a Cavalcade of Calamity to multiply that damage we take? Vanguard. Is it all 1-drops? The all 1-drop deck. It is the Cavalcade. Oh my goodness. This is gonna leave a mark. Will they play around that settle? So I could run out the Narset and try to divert my opponent, but I think it's better to hold up the Absorb and keep them from adding anything more to the board. Another Cavalcade of Calamity could just be game. Like I said. Soul Read. Okay. All 1-drops and Cavalcades. I'm ready for my beating. This is a tough matchup. I mean, we need the opponent to walk into this settle. If they play carefully, we might just be run right out of this game unless we top deck a Nova. And if they're smart, they play first main to make sure we don't have... If we play an Absorb, we get in trouble. So, here we go. What's it gonna be? Everybody's in. Everybody's in. Get them. I mean, we're still gonna have a low life total. Our opponent's gonna have a ton of land. Nobody plays around settle anymore. I shouldn't enjoy it as much as I do, but I really do. So, Heroic Reinforcements, probably the white card, although we've seen the Huzzah, Marshall. Actually, we've seen a number of white cards, but the opponent took all mountains. Maybe they just didn't feel like scrolling. It's fine. This is fine. We've still got to deal with this. This is 4 damage a turn. Never mind, it's more. I mean, we are not done here. We could still lose badly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're at 9. Let's play the Narset. We're gonna have to dig up. Cleansing Nova. And this goes deeper than Jace does to find the card. All right. We found another settle. We also found a Seal Away. And a Seal Away can be played this turn, whereas a settle cannot. So I'll take the Seal Away. You can at least take out, say, the Vanguard. Something like that. Here they come. So we can prevent a little bit of damage with Seal Away here. Vanguard prevents the most. Still taking 4, going down to just 5. Did the opponent draw another threat? They pass the turn. We draw another settle. We still have to take damage from the Cavalcade, though. Here's an Absorb. All right, your turn. I'm trying to keep an open mind, Narset. I'm doing my best. All right, I think we have to use the settle. Because we can't let these sit on the board for another turn cycle. It's lethal next turn. We have to make our opponent draw the lethal threat. But if they have it, they're going to get to resolve it around the Absorb because we don't have the mana. And the play is no play. Now we're going to sit on these Absorbs. We are going to sit back on these Absorbs. Oh my gosh, I feel like I just dodged a bullet. What do you think is in their hand? Let's pass, but cast Commence the Endgame. If the opponent has a Lightning Strike, the feel bads are going to be immense, but I think we have to work on ending the game. So, hold on to your butts. This could kill us, but I think we have to try. If we untap with this, we're doing all right. Another Commence the Endgame. I'm not even playing the Azcanta. Wait, I will play the Azcanta. I'm not going for the other Commence here because the opponent could still top deck the Lightning Strike. And now that I have the Absorb protection, I'm not letting it down. All right, I'm not even going for Azcanta. Forget it. I have double Absorb with a 7/7. I'm not playing a thing. There are all kinds of scenarios where the opponent could go Lightning Strike in response to Lightning Strike if they build it up, and I tap out even for something like an Azcanta. And even going for the Commence here is greedy. I would sooner discard to hand size. Come on, baby. Get there. Opponent has drawn a lot of land. I'm feeling for him. If we can resolve and absorb, that's really good. Let's see if the opponent responds by shooting face. Nope. Goblin Instigator. Let's keep throwing the counters at him. Let's gain that life. Let's clear the way, because if we untap and the opponent doesn't have a blocker, we can commence the endgame, hit for lethal. This little Cavalcade Boros deck gave us a run for our money. Tip of the hat. Personal wag of the finger at CGB, playing all this try-hardy stuff. Commence, amass. It will go onto this creature that is not summoning sick. It will swing across for potential lethal. What you got? The Click of Demise, and there it is. I wonder what they were holding. Maybe like a response resurgence? Alright, as we wind it down, let's go over changes to make to the deck, though honestly, I don't have any. I love it for standard shakeup. I hate it for standard itself because of Teferi Time Raveler, and we don't have a lot of ways to interact with Planeswalkers. I wouldn't be too opposed to cutting back on Narsets, maybe go down to 3, possibly even 2, to run more Ixalan's Bindings, or to run Prison Realm, so you have a little bit more Planeswalker interaction. But here in the shakeup, I haven't seen nearly as many Planeswalker decks, so that would be my only suggestions. Would be a couple of Prison Realms that can take the place of some Narset, maybe a Nova, something like that. Thank you for watching this video today. I hope that you enjoyed a little bit of blue-white control, those of you who are left still watching here. And to the rest of you who already unsubbed and left angry comments, I just gotta get it out. I gotta get the evil out of the system. I gotta cleanse. I gotta sometimes purge, go out there and just blue-white on everything, if that makes sense. A big thank you to Cool Stuff Inc. for sponsoring the channel. Promo code CGB5 for 5% off your order at coolstuffinc.com. Thank you for watching this video. Goodbye, Standard Shakeup. Please come back soon. I really enjoyed you. As always, I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.